Oh, reconnect.
Yay!
We're on. We're live.
We're live. And it's usually I say, hey everyone, welcome to Thursday night. It's Dr. Carlen Live. But welcome to Thursday afternoon.
Yes.
It's Dr. Carlen Live.
Yes.
Because I have a super special guest and she's got shit to do tonight. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're busy women. We're busy entrepreneurial women.
Yeah.
And because we're busy entrepreneurial women, sometimes we have to go live in the afternoon versus live in the evening.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
So, world, thank you for watching Dr. Carlen Live, the best of sex, relationships, love, and lifestyle. I'm your host, Dr. Carlen, sexologist, love leader, and relationship psychotherapist, and I bring you every week a new guest, a new topic, a new thing. And this week I have my super special, I love her! We're just gonna like love up on each other a little bit more, even though we've done it already.
We literally only see each other for business stuff now.
Because we're so
busy.
We're so busy. And it's the best. However, so this is my beautiful, darling, and wonderful friend, Stephanie Poplensky. And Stephanie, now, when I asked her, I was like, so give me like all your titles and stuff. And she gave me like this whole thing. So, Stephanie Poplensky, owner of StrongHER Fitness,
yes.
MA, CSCS, PhD candidate, super badass babe. I'm just saying.
I try.
All of those things.
I try.
You
It's
try.
weird. It's weird to have all these titles when people ask what you do and you list things and it's like, I do a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's not work.
No, it's not. When you pick your passion for work,
you love what you do. You never work a day in your life.
you never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
That's why we love our lives.
Yeah.
That's why
That's why we love each other.
It's a thing.
You gotta be around people like this. Yeah.
So Stephanie, can you tell everybody kind of like what like, I mean, I just gave them a whole bunch of time, but like, what do you do? Like, what is your thing?
So my thing is exercise in pregnancy, specifically resistance training during pregnancy. So I'm a strength and conditioning coach by trade. I'm also a part-time professor at Fanshawe College here in London, and also at Western.
MBD.
And which is amazing. I love it so much. My students are great. Shout out to the Fanshawe and Western students right now. Hey guys. But my passion is working with women during pregnancy and postpartum, and specifically building up their confidence, building up their fitness and their health, and kind of engaging with them through this unique part in their fitness journey. You know, when you become pregnant, you start to think not more so about yourself, but more so about baby growing inside you. And so a lot of women kind of see pregnancy and create this change, usually a healthy change in their lifestyle when they become pregnant, that they might not have done so otherwise.
Right? Yeah, that's true. Because like, okay, so for those of you who may follow me, may know that I was up really early this morning. I've been up since about 3 in the morning because my baby sister had her 5th child. Yay! So I'm so excited for
Auntie Carlen
again. I'm an aunt again. I have a new nephew who was just born into the world this morning.
So awesome.
And I held him for the first 3 hours of his life, and I was so happy. And I'm like so happy right now. So like this to me, like having now Steph on to talk about babies and pregnancy and mom bodies and all that.
The universe.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
Flow. Just saying.
It's a flow.
It's flow.
Absolutely.
This is why we had to wait until today to do this.
Yeah.
Right? So it's funny. So I'm like, you know, I'm letting my sister sleep. I'm holding the babe, right? Her and her partner, they're sleeping, relaxing. And then like the doctor comes in and is like touching her tummy, and it's all like squishy and stuff. And I don't have children, so I'm not. And you don't have kids, right?
No.
So we don't have kids.
Not
so
yet.
So like I'm very privileged to see a lot of wonderful bodies changing and moms in my life and going through those experiences. And a lot of my clients, I work with postnatal and prenatal moms and work through all of that stuff in psychotherapeutic capacity, right? So it's so interesting to see all of that, and then but you see it every day.
Yes. Like literally all I do is train pregnant women, or
so
alternatively after they give birth, then they work with me and we do stroller fitness, or we do one-on-one personal training, or online training too. I do some online training as well.
See, that's really so. Okay, so why mamas?
It was one of those things that when your path picks you, you don't really pick it. It was, when I look back, I was in my 2nd year of undergrad at Western doing kinesiology, and I wanted to have a certification. I wanted to be different than everyone else. So I became an aquafit instructor.
That's the best I didn't know that about you.
That's how I started in the fitness industry, was Aquafit. Most people know me as a strength and conditioning coach or personal trainer, but it actually started with Aquafit. So I became certified as an Aquafit instructor, and in the city of London, there's actually very few certified Aquafit instructors, especially back when I was certified. And I kind of came in at this unique time where Western was hiring an Aquafit instructor to teach the Aquafit activity course for kin. So I ended up getting that position as a TA. So I ended up teaching an undergrad course when I was still an undergrad, which was totally rare and like not really heard of at all. And then I ended up covering my friend was on vacation and she taught a prenatal Aquafit class here in the city, and she needed someone to cover, and she's like, Steph, you're certified, right? Because you teach at Western. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. Can you come in and teach? So I did. And the woman, I think, liked me. That's what she told me. So that was really awesome. It was such a learning curve, though, because they don't prepare you for that when you take a certification to teach a prenatal class. That's usually a special cert. Yeah. So I was like online the night before, like frantically looking up, like, what can I not do with these women? Like, okay, don't compress their abdominals. That makes sense. Don't twist. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Like I was just learning as I went. And my friend ended up moving on and getting a different job, and so the position to teach that class permanently opened up, and so the facility hired me, and from that I ended up doing mom and baby strength classes. Then we led into stroller fitness classes, which at the time we were the only facility in London teaching stroller fitness. This was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I had 10 women in my class.
Ahead of the curve, as she does.
Yeah, it's crazy. And now it's amazing, because like I ended up, okay, so from there, we'll go back to that in a second. I just love how many stroller fitness programs are in this city. But
yeah, there's some really, really awesome women in this city. I mean, like, you're one of them, obviously.
Yeah,
but like,
one of many.
Big shout out to like all
Rebirth,
the others.
Mums and Bubs, and Fit. Yeah, anyone who's doing it, because literally 10 years ago, there was only 10 women doing it in the park with me, and now we've got hundreds. And like anything to get women out. In nature, like I know you're a nature lover too. I'm a nature lover. Like you go outside, you wake up, go outside in the morning, you just feel so much better. Then you're exercising, and you're with women who went through similar experiences with you. You're both got babies, right? Yeah. And you get to do this with your baby. So it's just like, oh, so much love for stroller fitness. I love it so much. But that's how I started Aquafit. Then I ended up doing some personal training stuff, and through Rebirth, who I was working with at the time, I learned and I grew, and I was lucky enough to work with a group of practitioners like lactation consultants, holistic nutritionists, all naturopathic doctors, psychotherapists, pelvic floor physio. So honestly, the stuff I was exposed to it just flourished, and I love the area so much, and I loved working with moms, and I loved working with babies.
I love working with moms.
It's just awesome.
It's just, what's so awesome about it? What do you get from it?
So when I get to work with women before they have a baby, so they're pregnant, and they're talking about, maybe they don't see me for the first trimester because they're sick with morning sickness or just feeling like overall just crappy, which usually happens. But they start to see me in their second trimester, their third trimester, and they have all these things that they talk about. Some are like exciting things, fears, like, am I going to be a good mom? And then I get to watch them and their bellies grow, right? And grow. And like sometimes you'll feel the kick, and then all of a sudden I don't see them for a few weeks, and then they bring in their baby to the gym, and it's like literally like, what's it like now? Do you still have this? I talk to them like, do you still have the same worries? They're like, oh, I don't care about anything. I'm just so happy I have this baby and it's healthy. And it's like, exactly. And a lot of the conversation is just kind of easing their mind on what's to come, right? And kind of mentally preparing them for the physical demands that labor and delivery entail, and also postpartum recovery, right? So that's a big thing with women.
Huge. So, okay, so you talked about some like really big, important things. So first you talked about, one thing I want us to talk about is definitely postpartum recovery. Yes. But then also what I want to talk about is just prenatal, especially too. So let's maybe start prenatal.
Yeah, we'll transition. Yeah.
Right? So prenatally, because I know that there's a lot of moms watching. I know there's a lot of new moms.
Send us some likes if there's moms on here watching right now. We want to know where our moms are at.
Yeah, moms.
Yeah, moms. Right? Yummy mummies.
So we were kind of chatting before we went live, but what is important for a prenatal woman to know about her body, or about like, because one of your titles is CSCS, which I learned is Certified Strength and Conditioning Specialist.
Yes.
certified strength and conditioning specialist, which I mean, that's freaking cool,
Yeah.
right? That's like a really cool, I was like, oh, okay,
Good, yeah.
no big deal. Okay, just like super strong,
Yeah.
certified and strong. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I need to get you a t-shirt that says certified and strong.
Yeah. I wish my title was CPNSCS, so Certified Prenatal Strength and Conditioning Specialist. Like, get super specific with it. That's what I do. That's what
that's okay. So that's your like niche.
Yeah.
Is definitely the prenatal stuff.
Yeah.
So okay, so can we tell some of these beautiful moms just some stuff that they need to know or that they can know for their bodies, or some important stuff when it comes to conditioning, strength, fitness, movement in that prenatal phase? What's like the top 3 important things?
So, as a strength and conditioning coach, I used to work with a lot of athletes, football players, volleyball players, everything. And what you do is you periodize their program based on the season of their sport or their competition date. So if you think about labor and delivery and your baby's birthday as your competition day, the day that you're going in and you're competing and you have to have like kind of that peak performance, essentially everything I do leading up to that is going to prepare the mom for the demands of labor and delivery. And we know that labor can last anywhere from, like an hour, a couple hours, to even up to a couple days.
Yeah.
Right? So my question is always like, how are you preparing for that? And oftentimes they're not.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we read what to expect when you're expecting.
Yep.
We read all these things on the internet, but the reality is, there was really no exercise guidelines until the end of the 80s. So before the 80s, women were told to be put on bed rest. And I thought that was a bit absurd because I came from a family where my grandma had 16 kids and ran a farm.
Wait.
1-6. Yes.
Your grandmother had 16. So you have
My grandma's a
16
champ.
aunts and uncles?
Yeah. Some of them have died now because that was a span of over 20 years.
16
Yeah.
kids is a span of 20 years.
Yeah, the joke was that my grandma was always pregnant. Like everyone saw her, she was always pregnant and she always ran a farm. So she was in the garden, like baby on hip, like on the tractor. It's crazy. So I had this theory, like, well, if my grandma had 16 kids
and ran a farm,
why the heck are we telling women to not do physical labor when really, or work, when really labor and delivery is going to be work?
Yeah.
For those of you who have been through labor and delivery, it's work,
Yeah.
right? Pushing isn't easy.
No.
And so I think about that. I'm like,
emotionally and physically, just saying.
Exactly. And then you think about what comes after that. So then you're going to be carrying around a baby all the time, right? So that takes a lot of, upper body strength, core strength. And then you're carrying a baby in a car seat.
Yeah.
And then you're lifting things. And so, putting baby in the crib.
And you might be healing from like scars, right? C-section and episiotomies.
Yes.
Just like general labor.
Yes.
Right? Doing all of that stuff.
So how are you preparing for all this? And so that's the question I ask women. And oftentimes the women that I work with are very proactive, already exercising, but there's times that I've had women who have, who are overweight and are, wanting to make sure that labor and delivery is as easy as it can be for them, or taking a proactive approach to their bodies and their health now that they become pregnant. So I deal with women all over the spectrum.
Yeah.
But essentially, a lot of the stuff that we do prenatally, because they need to be cleared by a doctor to exercise, first of all. So I take them through the Paramedics for pregnancy, and we discuss exercise guidelines and contraindications, and we kind of do an overall general health questionnaire to start. First trimester, again, women, the rate of miscarriage is quite high in the first trimester. It can be up to 50%. So we try not to really do anything until the second trimester.
Yeah.
So we've got that clearing by the doctor.
So first things first, if you're in your first trimester, don't freak out.
Yeah.
Like if you're not feeling it, right? If you're not feeling it in your body, if you're feeling kind of sick, if you're feeling like you're being taken over, because you kind of are.
Yeah.
Right? Don't worry about it. I feel like it's a good message to tell women, especially in the first trimester, like this is about nurturing your body, right? This is about caring for your body. This is about self-love, self-care, ease, right? Slowly growing into the change
100%.
that is happening.
Yeah.
Right? And honoring that.
Yeah.
And I don't think we tell women that enough, right? It's like people think that you're in your first trimester and it's just like, just like life is goes on as normal, and it's not. A lot of women lose their sex drive. A lot of women become really, really sick, right?
And a lot of times they're hiding it too. They don't want people to know they're pregnant because they don't know if the pregnancy will stay and stick. So there's like this secret life that these women in the first trimester are living essentially as they're going through these really difficult times, like emotionally and physically.
Absolutely. So then we hit second trimester.
Yes.
And I know, so for my work, I know that second trimester, that means that your libido can also go up. Yay! Second trimester libido.
And you're feeling better usually, so
right? And you're feeling pregnant at that point, right? You're like, okay, like this is what's happening. Like I'm easing with it. But so, what are some of your tips for working out in the second trimester?
So it really depends. It's so variable. It totally varies woman to woman, because I could have a woman who did CrossFit and Olympic weightlifting prior to getting pregnant, and then first trimester, she's so sick, she doesn't go to the gym at all for 2 months. Well, detraining happens within 2 weeks.
Oh, wait. What does that mean? Detraining? What does that mean?
The effects of detraining. So if you stop working out for an extended period of time, basically your fitness level will diminish. So you're not going to be able to lift as much. You're not going to be able to go at the same intensity that you used to. So if a woman, has been sick for a month or two, she's basically experienced detraining, and we can't start her back where she was. She can't do some of those same exercises, even if she's not showing. So that's the first and a lot of women will be sick for 3 months and then feel fine and go right back into their activity level. You don't want to do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't
so
do that.
You basically are thinking you're starting from scratch again. So what I do with women, once they come back, if they've been able to exercise, we still start them kind of baseline. So I basically treat them like they're a brand new client, and the goal is, in the first trimester, working with me anyway, is building strength. So everything we do is strength focused. Yes. So we're doing
strength where specifically?
Full body.
Full body strength.
Full body.
Okay.
Yes, because I'm thinking labor and delivery, pushing. You want strong grip. You want strong abdominal contractions. You want just your body to be able to contract and relax together as one unit. So we do a lot of front squats. We do a lot of deadlifts.
Sorry, what's a front squat?
A front squat is when you've got...
I don't know names for these things.
You've got a dumbbell or a kettlebell on your chest. It would be a goblet squat. Or you've got a barbell in the front rack position and you squat.
So it's like you hold it and then you squat. That's a front squat? Okay.
So the weight's front loaded. I'm not a fan of back squatting during pregnancy. Which is like controversial because a lot of people do it, but there's a hormone called relaxin that's released into a woman's system, leading into more so in the third trimester. But with pregnancy, there's a lot of conditions you can have that could be discogenic related. I have friends who are chiros, so we always sit down and talk about injuries and things like that. So between any discogenic injuries or predispositions the woman has already, usually they're exacerbated during pregnancy.
Absolutely.
And with relaxin is basically the hormone that helps the pelvic floor and the hips open up to make way for the baby during birth, but it's released systemically. Sorry, I'm stumbling on my words there.
That's all right.
Which means it's released into your entire system. So it doesn't just affect your hips, it affects all your joints. So wrist, ankle, elbow, knee, neck, spine, right? So when you think about that, do you really want to be loading your spine when you could potentially, have some sort of effect already because of any sort of predisposition injuries? But if you look at the angle where the bar is loaded, you're right over baby. So there's a lot of axial loading, axial compression, and then the line of action is right over baby. So for me, not a fan. And also, functionally speaking, after giving birth, how often are you going to put stuff on your back? You're going to be holding your baby up here all the time. Everything you do is going to be front loaded or side loaded because that's where baby is. So why would we load our backs?
So why would we strengthen our backs when it's easier?
That we won't strengthen our back that way. There's other ways, right? So I'm not a fan of back squatting. That's kind of my thing. But front squatting, great, because again, just keeping that upright posture, getting used to having weight up there while squatting down. If you're going to grab something out of the bottom shelf and you've got your baby in your hand, then you've got that nice posture, and we're training our muscles to move like appropriately in that range of motion.
So how about, just speaking about strengthening and conditioning.
Love it.
Just speaking about that.
Love it.
What about Kegels?
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Because everybody always asks about Kegels, right?
Yes.
And like, there's so many different opinions out there about Kegels.
Yes.
And about when you need to be doing Kegels, when you don't need to be doing Kegels.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think in terms of prenatal, postnatal, all that stuff, Kegels definitely need to be considered, and there needs to be some sort of pelvic floor conditioning, whether that's on your own, but with a pelvic floor specialist, or through some sort of conditioning and strength training. What is your kind of outlook or a conversation you have with some of your moms about Kegels? Because that's important.
So what I actually do is I refer all my clients, all my women, to a pelvic floor physiotherapist. They have to go in their second trimester because that is out of my scope of practice to assess their pelvic floor.
I love a woman who knows what her genius is.
Yeah, that's not my thing. Yeah. I work a lot in hand with a lot of pelvic floor physios. So, and that's one of the areas of research that I look at is pelvic floor health, but I'm not a pelvic floor physiotherapist. So I send my women to see a pelvic floor physiotherapist who will do an internal assessment of their pelvic floor. And basically the feedback information that I want to know is, are they doing their Kegels properly? Because most people do not do their Kegels properly.
Most people don't.
Did you know? No, a lot of people don't.
Well, maybe let's teach people. Like, how do you know if you're not doing them properly?
You go to a pelvic floor physio. Yeah, you get them to assess you.
That's true. If everything goes really tight,
yeah.
You probably
I actually went last week. I'm not pregnant or anything, but I said I want to go to a pelvic floor physio. I want to see what my pelvic floor is like.
Yeah.
She said it was one of the strongest she's ever felt. So I was like, I'm happy. Whatever I'm doing, those compound exercises, it's working. But no, in all serious. So she'll assess your pelvic floor, and often women who already exercise and are quite active. You could have a hyper or a hypotonic pelvic floor. So you could be either really tight or a little bit too loose, you know, so to speak. And there's a lot of intricate muscles that make up your pelvic floor. So if you think about even like a wicker basket, or if you interlace your fingers, all these little muscles connect to form your pelvic floor. And if you exercise frequently, oftentimes you know how to contract those muscles because you're contracting a lot of your muscles. If you know you're hypertonic, you got muscles, you're probably got a strong pelvic floor too. But that can be bad for labor and delivery, because if you're too tight, then it's going to be harder for baby to make its way through, and you could also have a higher risk of tearing during labor and delivery. So that's why I always get them to get assessed. A lot of people say, "Oh, my pelvic floor is fine. I don't feel any discomfort." It's fine now. But labor and delivery is an interesting stress on the body. So it's good to make sure, be proactive and find out if, your pelvic floor is hyper or hypotonic. And then also find out if you're doing Kegels properly. Yeah. Like my pelvic floor physio said, you don't really need to use Kegel balls anymore, Steph. You're good. You're good. I was like, oh, darn. Okay.
But those feel great.
But she's like, you need to learn how to relax your pelvic floor. So sometimes people just need to learn how to relax it.
Yes.
Right?
And that's what I'm hearing a lot, actually, from some of the pelvic floor specialists that I work with, is that so many women are so tight.
Yes.
Right? They're so tight there. It's okay, especially prenatally, it's okay to be soft about your body. Yes. It's okay to take a step back with your body. It's okay to feel into that motherhood and not have to be this strong. I mean, you're already a warrior. You're gonna be a mother, right? Yeah. You don't have to
strongest women on the planet.
Yeah, you don't have to be the strongest woman on the planet while being pregnant. You know what I mean? It's okay to take a step back, to sink back into your softness, sink back into your feminineness, right? And to do just some lighter work and soften how you're using your body, because it's about to go through a really intense experience.
Yes. And I love that you said that too, because even when we're stressed, even if it's not a physical stress, mental stress, we feel that stress physically, right? We tense up, you go for a massage, you feel so much better. Well, the same thing applies to your pelvic floor. It's still muscles, it's still attached to your body. It's still going to undergo the stress that your mind is giving it or your body is giving it, right?
Absolutely.
So, that's the first thing. They need to go see a pelvic floor physio.
Pelvic floor physio,
okay. And even just to learn how to breathe, proper breathing strategies and techniques.
Okay.
Because that plays a role.
Lamaze,
No, none of that. None of that. Do not do that. But in all seriousness, with lifters, a lot of people will perform the Valsalva maneuver, which is holding your breath to do a deadlift or a front squat or a deadlift or a back squat, whatever. And I have to basically retrain and reprogram a lot of the women that I work with to inhale throughout the entire movement. So if you're squatting as you go down, inhaling the whole way down and then exhaling the whole way up, instead of inhaling at the top, holding your breath down and coming up. Because when you cut off oxygen to yourself, you're actually cutting off oxygen to the placenta and then to the baby. And I've learned a lot about the placenta. The placenta is a greedy organ. And if the placenta will always make sure it gets the nutrients it needs first and the oxygen it needs first, and then baby gets what's left over. So we always think, yeah, what we're eating goes directly to baby. It doesn't. It goes to the placenta, which then feeds the baby. So if the placenta is not not getting enough nutrients or deprived of oxygen, baby's suffering even more. And a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
But if you think about exercise as pumping more oxygen into your body, this is why it's so beneficial to exercise.
Super, or movement, right? Because I know a lot of women, they want, especially when they find out they're pregnant, right? And if they haven't been super active, right? I know that I do see some women who all of a sudden they become pregnant. They're like, now I want to be active, right? Yep. But it doesn't always have to be. Strength training can look differently based on where you're at with your body, where you are with your exercise, and what feels good to you. It doesn't always have to be lifting a dead weight and kettlebells and all of that stuff, right? It can be I love how you started off by saying aquafit, right? Just gentle stretching and movements, yoga.
One of my colleagues is doing currently, and we've done studies in the past here at Western's Exercise and Pregnancy Lab, just on the benefits of walking, just getting in 7,000 to 10,000 steps every day, and how that ends up being beneficial during your pregnancy and for baby with fetal outcomes. So it's literally as simple sometimes as going for a 20-minute or a 30-minute walk. Maybe you're doing a prenatal yoga class. Even if you want to do Zumba, whatever you're into, it's fine. I've seen women, and I don't necessarily recommend it or later in your pregnancy, but continuing to play sports like soccer.
So this. That was in your eye, and I didn't want it to
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've done a lot of prenatal. So what about postnatal? So postnatally, I know that you specialize in prenatal strength and conditioning, but what about postnatal? What are some postnatal, because this is stuff that I'm going to talk to my sister who just had a baby a few hours ago, right? That I'm going to be you need to watch this. And here are some tips for postnatal care.
So with prenatal, focus on strength in the second trimester, and then I do a lot more muscle endurance work in the third, because if you think about, again, labor and delivery, depending on how long it lasts, you want to prepare women for contractions and that rest period, which contractions can last 30 seconds up to a minute. So you want to kind of add a little bit more endurance conditioning work. But then woman gives birth. Okay, so let's say there's vaginal births and then there's cesarean births. And with a vaginal birth, she might be prepared.
I'm just going to do this. We're super in the sunlight. There we go.
Okay. With a vaginal birth, she could be prepared to return to exercise within 2 to 4 weeks, just depending on, recovery and then type of delivery and length of labor. But again, she'd have to be cleared by a doctor. Cesarean birth can be a little bit longer, usually 6 to 12 weeks. Give or take, just depending on recovery. So with that, again, when you think about detraining, right, you haven't been doing anything except feeding a human for, a month to 2 months.
No big deal.
Usually sitting, right, a lot of prolonged sitting, sleeping, right, getting adjusted into the sleep schedule. So again, when women come back, I basically treat them like they're starting from scratch. And then if you think about what just happened to your pelvic floor and your abdominal wall, so essentially, all those little muscles stretching. I usually hope at this. It's more of a this movement.
No, that's not what happens to your vagina when you have a baby.
No, hopefully not.
No. Just a little bit of this.
But those little tissues on your pelvic floor have been stretched. They've been stressed because the uterus, amniotic fluid baby, can weigh 20 pounds. Placenta. That's a lot of weight for all those little muscles. And then taking relax and stretching out the hips. Those muscles can become stretched or strained. Same with your abdominals, right? A lot of women suffer from diastasis recti, which is a separation along the linea alba line in their abs.
Your abs.
But luckily,
which is, by the way, the weirdest thing about pregnancy. It's just what is happening? Sorry, it freaks me out. It does.
And that's why you have to be careful what kind of core exercises you do while pregnant, because it can exacerbate.
Because your abs split, your muscles split, and make these rooms. And you know what? It's just the universe is blessing us.
I know, with light.
That's just what's happening.
It's just shining down on us. It's amazing. I love it. But and again, pelvic floor physio. So if they've gone to see one prior to labor and delivery, like during their pregnancy, then afterwards I say, go back to your pelvic floor physio, let me know what they say. And based on what feedback information the mom gives me, will dictate kind of what we start to do when. With something like stroller fitness, we start really light. It's always like walking, everything's super controlled and slow, and it's about quality reps over quantity reps, which again is something to be stressed, I think. And when you think about, you know, the stress that pelvic floor goes under, you don't want a lot of bouncing and plyometric exercises, right? Because those tissues are still sensitive. And it's kind of ridiculous that I think doctors don't tell women to go to pelvic floor physios right after birth. Because
I think it's ridiculous what a lot of doctors do when women are pregnant. Just
because if you like tore your calf or your bicep or whatever, you would get referred to a physio. Well, carrying a baby for 9 months, delivering a baby, there's a lot of stress and strain on those muscles, and oftentimes you do get some tearing. So isn't it ridiculous that they're not immediately referred to a pelvic floor physio? I think that's just, to me, baffling. I think every woman should go to a pelvic floor physio. Like 100%, because it's going to happen. So preventative measures going in, and then being proactive to get that rehab care that you need for your pelvic floor postpartum. Because again, that's out of my scope of practice. That's out of your personal trainer's scope of practice. I'm sorry if they say it is, but it's not. It does not fall under their scope of practice.
No, it's not.
And if you're not looking after your pelvic floor postpartum, then I've dealt with women, you know, in their mid-30s, mid-40s, 50s, who have incontinence issues while exercising, who never were assessed for diastasis recti. I get them assessed in their 50s, and they have separation of their linea alba. And it's like they've been doing crunches this whole time, you know, for the past 20, 30 years.
And then it's all, like, your muscles start to kind of, like, do one of these things on your abs, and it's really, really uncomfortable,
so then it's like, it's
also
like,
sex, right? So a pelvic floor, that's right,
this is you, this is you.
This is me now, right? So also, like, as you get older, right? So it's not only urinary incontinence, but also, like you said, like the diastasis recti stuff, right? Like all of that stuff, and for sex and your libido, and for being able to continue to be a receiving partner of somebody, right? And having your muscles come back together strong throughout the entirety of your life cycle, because once menopause hits, that's a whole other cycle that your body's going to have to go through, which is going to bring on just another level of changes.
100%.
So if you haven't fully healed after postnatally, right, or haven't healed properly, or haven't received the right kind of care that your body needs, once you get to that menopausal state, right, your body is going to start reacting to that old stuff that you didn't handle when you were postnatal.
And like we know with any injury, right, even if you go to a regular physio, if you've been injured, there's always risk of that injury reoccurring later on in life. And it's not to say, even though you've rehabbed it, that it's going to go away. But again, just being proactive in your health. And this is your body. You only get one. Right? And like childbearing, birthing is like one of the like coolest things ever, one of the most amazing experiences. Cool. I'm so like proud to be a woman just because I get to experience that. Right? But there's also a big onus on women to also take care of their body and take care of themselves postpartum, which is really hard for women when they have a kid, right? It's not, they're not thinking about booking that appointment when they've got a crying baby, or, you know, they're lacking sleep. And so it's a lot of self-care.
And I've been seeing a lot of new moms posting, like, some really awesome, like, role model women who have been posting, because
Emily Sky Fit, she's killing it right now. She just had a baby, and I love her so much, and she's like, this is my pre-baby body, this is my pregnancy body, and this is my post-baby body.
But not having to rush into it. No. Right? Because you see the, like, the Kimye's of the world, and it's like 3 months later, right? And like, my body's back to normal, and it's like, what did you just do? Because that's not normal nor natural, right? No,
and some women do, quote unquote, bounce back a little bit faster, some women depending on activity level, right? And even just genetics. Some women.
Just genetics. Genetics is a huge part of it, right?
Which you can't control. You can't control the genes you have.
No. But if it takes you 17 months to get to that part, right? Then it takes 17 months, and that's okay, right? Your partner will love you still. You need to love yourself still. You need to ease into this transition of your life, and I get it, we're women, we handle shit, that's what we do. However, right, handle your shit with flow and with ease, especially when it comes to, and I'm going to use this word, the trauma of giving birth, because it is a trauma. I'm not using it as a negative word, like,
it's a stress on the body.
A trauma. A trauma is a stress on the body, right?
Yep.
So if you have an emotional trauma or a physical trauma of some other kind, right, you go through that care after, you go through that conditioning after, you build strength emotionally, physically, and mentally in a variety of different ways.
Yeah.
When it comes to having a baby, same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And it takes you 9 months, from pregnancy, well, 10 months actually, if you actually do the math. It takes you 10 months to go through that. Yeah. And then if you're breastfeeding, you have to basically go from your end, when you're done breastfeeding, it's going to take you 10 months from there. And that's variable depending if you how long you breastfeed for, if you're currently exercising, if you were proactive and going to see a pelvic floor physio, what kind of exercises you were doing during that time. Yeah. It's totally variable, right? So love yourself. It takes time. And I tell women, like, I'm doing a seminar actually on this in the next couple of weeks, but you're never going to get your pre-baby body back because your body has gone through pregnancy and labor and delivery. Mm-hmm. So that body, it's not that it's gone, your body's changed. It's changed for the better. Mm-hmm. You've given birth, you've given life to this world. Mm-hmm. So I hate that, I want my pre-baby body back. Your body will never be the same as it was before getting pregnant.
No such thing as a pre-baby body.
No.
Now it's post-baby body.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Everything.
It's like before Jesus and after death, right? Yeah. It's like BC and AD.
Yeah.
Before baby, BB, and after baby, AB.
Exactly. BC and AB. I like that. Or BB. BB.
Before baby, after baby.
AB. Yes.
BB, AB.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Totally use that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the same thing, right? Because we have this pressure to be like, I need to have my post-baby body back, my post-baby body back.
Yeah.
And it's like, first of all, what? Like, did you even like that body before? And if you didn't, great. And if you did, cool. But like, you know what I mean?
But I think it's also the pressure that, that society, because of the Kimmies and whatever. Yeah. And you know what? If they can, quote unquote, bounce back fast, that's amazing.
Amazing.
Like, it's awesome.
Love.
Yeah, it's great. But not everyone's journey is going to be like that.
Exactly.
And some women get more fit the more kids they have. Like, you have no
idea.
I've
seen that. Yeah, your body becomes even more fit, even stronger, even healthier. Yeah. Post-baby.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot out there.
There's so much.
There's so much out there.
So much. So don't be hard on yourselves, ladies.
Yeah. So what is your number one? So let's wrap this up with what is your number one tip, advice, quote, whatever it is, to all the mommies, postnatal, prenatal, all of the natals.
It's my number one piece of advice is it's never too late to start exercising. And if you start even in your third trimester, like 2 weeks away from giving birth, that is totally awesome. There's so many benefits to exercising during pregnancy and postpartum. I mean, not only we've talked about weight management, but then like also just like giving your baby that oxygen that it needs. Like the list goes on. So wherever you're starting, but make sure you do go see a pelvic floor physio, and make sure you align yourself and find a trainer who is certified pre and postnatally, or that in addition to having a background in exercise and pregnancy or physio or rehab sciences, because that would be an asset. You don't want to trust your body at this time with anyone, right? Yeah. So find someone who's certified, work with someone who knows. Well, yeah, I do online coaching too. We can figure it out, but definitely be proactive. Go see pelvic floor physio. Start exercising, even if it's just walking 10 minutes a day. That is totally fine. It's going to be awesome for you. It's going to be awesome for your baby.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you guys for watching Dr. Carlen Live on Thursday. Thank you for being on with me. So you can get a hold of this beautiful girl through all of the tags on all of this video, right? And connect with her. Ask her all of the questions. She's going to be hanging out in our women's group too soon. So we're going to ask some more intimate questions when that happens. So thank you. I love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Have the best
Thanks
day ever. Mwah.